A very warm welcome back to your Day 2 recap of the 2023 Paris Airshow, where, as you would expect, I take a look at all the stories that didn't get their own video in what was a very, very busy day for the wider aviation industry. Let's waste no time and get right into proceedings, with American Airlines announcing that it had committed to Embraer once more for Envoy Air. This is their regional operations company, and we'll see them take on 7 new Embraer E175s to be deployed across that Envoy Air network from the fourth quarter of 2023. Envoy Air's fleet will continue to grow, and the role of Embraer will only further be strengthened, with over 140 Embraer aircraft alone expected to be in the fleet by the end of 2024. This is a very substantial figure for the Brazilian plane maker and also the American airline. The Embraer family of aircraft are broadly admired among travelers thanks to the comfort levels found. This is comparison to maybe other aircraft types available on similar services. Embraer's president and CEO thanked American Airlines and Envoy for their trust in the Embraer product. They further say that the prospects regarding the future are incredibly exciting, especially as they look to grow their relationship long ahead. The E175 is the backbone of the US regional network, with over 620 aircraft sold. Embraer can firmly say that since 2013, they have had 86% of the market share. A fantastic figure, and one the company should and can be incredibly proud of. Through new iterations to the Embraer family, they'll only be looking to grow that market share in time, and hopefully capitalize on interest in markets moving away from the regional area of the United States. On to our next topic of the day. Air Algerie announced a deal with Boeing to support their future growth plans. The deal includes 8 of the 737-9 aircraft, which is part of the 737 MAX series, and the airline also signed an MOU for 2 737-800 Boeing converted freighters, or just more simply BCFs. The MOU for the freighter aircraft from Boeing does further support the American plane maker's freighter program and reaffirms the support and interest in converting aircraft that have expired their passenger flying to freighters, providing really a new lease on life. This is becoming a very common theme and something we're seeing widely across the industry. It doesn't have to strictly relate to the 737, we're now seeing 777s be converted, A321s, and the list could go on and on. Previously, the commitment for the 737-9s was on Boeing's orders and deliveries website and listed as unidentified, before being designated with a customer and confirmed today during the airshow. Air Algerie has a fleet of 51 in-service planes with a host of aircraft types. Notably, it flies 23 of the 737-800s, and as such, the addition of the 737-9 will massively overhaul their narrow-body fleet, which already consists of multiple variants of what can only be described as a pretty aging fleet. There is going to be a new Airbus A330 operator in a development that I personally feel went pretty under the radar in terms of the 2023 Paris Airshow Day 2. SalamAir announced that it will acquire 3 A330 Neos as part of its continued expansion plans, and it will be specifically the Dash 900, which, as we know, is the most popular variant. If anything, the Dash 800 has undoubtedly struggled to attract interest, and it's been the case for other aircraft programs as well, where the main one has been that larger capacity plane. The deal will be done through Aviation, a leading aircraft lessor that provides aircraft to customers right around the globe, and is no doubt a very essential solution in powering today's global fleet. The first A330 Neo is scheduled to be delivered to SalamAir this October, and the carrier has further outlined that the additional capacity brought on thanks to the acquisition of this A330 Neo, or should I say these A330 Neos, will be helpful in operating flights to European destinations. SalamAir only has 12 aircraft in service, comprising of a host of different types, but their most important is undoubtedly the A330neo family, with both the A330neo and A321neo in their operations. So, the acquisition of this A330neo is definitely going to shake up their fleet and see some pretty significant changes. Avalon is excited at the prospect of adding SalamAir as a future customer, and believes, through the addition of the A330neo, the airline can flourish, and I'd be interested to hear your take on that down below in the comments. So, what else happened? Well, it was very busy, I have to admit, and now I want to take a look at Boom Supersonic, who, at the 2023 Paris Airshow, once more announced some pretty significant plans to continue advancing with their Overture program. I have very strong opinions and thoughts, but I'm not going to get too much into those opinions in this video. Instead, I'll look to cover that in podcast form. For the moment, Boom Supersonic announced it had signed with 3 different companies to help produce the aircraft. Each are listed as structural suppliers. Air Nova, I've probably pronounced that incorrectly, is a Spain-based Tier 1 aerospace supplier and will work with the Overture for wings. They'll eventually design and develop the gull-like wing for the plane to be able to fly at supersonic speeds. Meanwhile, selected a primary engineering lead when it came to the fuselage and structural component integrations. The company will focus solely, as you would expect, on the fuselage, which has many complex challenges that they need to overcome. Boom Supersonic also announced more suppliers to help build the plane. In regards to that engine, the Symphony, well, they said there's been a new program milestone. The plan is for Overture to be powered by 100% sustainable aviation fuel, and the Boom has already signed multiple deals with providers to be able to give them this SAF during the testing phase once the plane is built. And Boom says they're continuing to optimize the engine in the best possible way to make sure performance is of the highest standard. However, the demonstrator, the XB-1 Baby Boom, is still yet to fly, despite persistent claims it would year after year. Boom's CEO claims that the type will now fly this year. However, whether that happens remains to be seen. Additionally, Boom Supersonic says they're on track for a 2007 first flight and a 2029 approval by regulatory bodies for certification. This is a shift in the overall timeline that they had first outlined, but isn't that drastically different to the point where people are going to notice? And while construction has started on their Overture factory, the company continues to put out more announcements, strategic partners, and much more other than actual firm developments on how the program is doing. They share high-quality 3D graphic renderings of what the facility will look like during the construction phase, but don't actually share physical imagery of the site. On top of that, they continue to move the goalposts for the aircraft, and their demonstrator does not fly. A lot of people have strong opinions on Boom Supersonic, and I would love to hear yours down below in the comments. Day 2 of the Paris Airshow saw significant orders, which I did cover on the channel in their own videos, so if you'd like to go back and watch those, you're more than welcome to do so. There was also some pretty big news by Air India, but I want to cover that in its own video, so stay tuned for that coming out in the next few hours. Take care and be safe, and I will indeed see you next time for more coverage on this year's edition of the 2023 Paris Airshow.